Idly-o Drinkerinos, it's another episode of the Idaho Booze Podcast with me, Steve Kuntz. We are recording, at least part of our show live today at Loose Screw's downtown Meridian location. We got Natasha behind the bar. Playoff baseball is on, and it is 70 degrees and gorgeous outside. Joining me today, Mike Garcia, one of the owners of Loose Screw, and Mindy Ridgeway, the new executive director of the Idaho Brewers United. Mike celebrating almost a year in his new digs here in downtown Meridian and doing a lot of good things for that little town. We're going to talk all about that. Mindy just took over for our good friend Sheila at IBU. She's going to talk about her new gig, what she sees for Idaho Beer in the future and the issues she intends to tackle, all that. Plus, we're going to talk about some events coming up at Loose Screw that you're not going to want to miss and other stuff going on around town. I'm going to review some Oktoberfest and more. Plus, we have the Warren Reserve Cocktail of the Week, all coming up on this week's episode of the Idaho Booze Podcast. It's time for the Warren Reserve Cocktail of the Week. It's October, so I am contractually obligated to do pumpkin recipes. And as is such, our Warren Reserve Cocktail of the Week is the Pumpkin Pie Martini. Give it a chance. It's going to be good. This frothy, festive beverage is made with vodka, rum, do I have you yet? Pumpkin puree, half and half, some pumpkin spice, and Warren Reserve pumpkin pie cocktail syrup, plus just a couple dashes of Warren Reserve ginger root bitters, and it's going to be delicious. You're going to love it. And because nobody likes to drink pumpkin pie drinks alone, we're going to give you a recipe for 2 martinis. So it's either going to be a really, really fun night for you or a very nice night for you and a friend. So let's gather our ingredients and stick a couple of those martini glasses into the freezer and into the shaker. We will put 2.5 ounces of vodka, 1.5 ounces aged rum, something funky, 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree, 3 tablespoons of Warren Reserve pumpkin spice premium cocktail syrup, 1/4 cup, half and half, oatmeal, whole milk, whole cream, whatever you have on hand that came out of a nut or a cow or whatever that you can use to make a beautiful, frothy, sort of like milkshakey type of drink. And then, of course, we're going to have 2 dashes of Warren Reserve ginger root bitters and a big old handful of ice cubes. Additionally, when I was looking at this recipe, I was like, you know what I would like in this? That's right. Those of you that know me already know what I'm getting at. It's an egg white, and I would want to put one in here. I think it would give it a nice smooth texture. I think it'd be delicious, and I think you'd really love it. So let's go ahead and think about doing that egg white. So if you are using the egg white, and again, I think you should, put that in first without the ice and do a dry shake. We're going to emulsify that thing up for about 15 seconds. Just shake, shake, shake for about 15, 20 seconds. Next, you're going to add the pumpkin and the half and half. So we're going to try to blend these with that egg white to make one big kind of emulsification before we add some of the booze in there. That'll kind of break it down a little bit. So let's do that. We're going to dry shake again for another 15 or 20 seconds, just until it starts to come together. You can kind of feel it in the shaker when that starts to happen. Then you're going to add everything else with the ice. So go ahead and throw your handful of ice in there. Add your vodka, add your rum, add your, 2 dashes of Warren Reserve ginger root bitters. Add your 3 tablespoons of Warren Reserve pumpkin spice premium cocktail syrup. Get all that stuff in there and shake that thing until it is too cold to handle. You're going to shake it. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. Just shake that damn thing and get it going. Then you're going to double strain that into your 2 chilled martini glasses. Garnish it with a shake of pumpkin spice. Wrap yourself up in a big old turtleneck. Look out for the fallen leaves and take a big sip because, baby, it is fall. Get the pumpkin spice premium cocktail syrup from Warren Reserve at warrenreserve.com. Use my promo code SPICE2025 to get 20% off. That's 20% off a single bottle or a pack of 3, your choice. Just use my promo code SPICE2025. Support the show and make this amazing cocktail, the Pumpkin Pie Martini, your Warren Reserve cocktail of the week. This show brought to you by Warren Reserve Cocktail Company. Leaves are changing, the weather is turning, there's a faint whiff of chimney smoke in the air. It must be pumpkin spice season. Warren Reserve's wonderful pumpkin spice cocktail syrup is back for a limited time only, so rush to warrenreserve.com and get not 1, not 2, but 3 PSC syrups for less than $10 per bottle. That's 3 bottles of pumpkin spice syrup for just $29.99. Use this syrup in anything from a pumpkin spice old fashioned to a pumpkin spice espresso martini. Hell, just pair it up with your morning coffee for a riff on that famous fall drink. The pumpkin spice world is at your fingertips with the pumpkin spice cocktail syrup now available from Warren Reserve Cocktail Company at warrenreserve.com. Welcome back to the Idaho Booze Podcast, and in just a moment, we're going to have Mike Garcia from Loose Screw Brewing on, along with Mindy Ridgeway, the new executive director of IBU. Those guys are going to come on. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. It really was a fun conversation. It was about an hour. I imagine about 45 minutes of it will get to the show, so lots to talk about in there. I think you guys are going to like it. And I'm excited to talk about it. One of the things we talk about in the 45 minutes that we chatted were festivals. It's festival season, my God. And, we had a big one they changed it. I guess, they're still doing it at Boise Brewing, but they switched it around. Now it's a thing where you kind of go in at your leisure and pick up fresh hop beers at Boise Brewing. They're going to have a bunch on tap. And instead of doing the big Oktober festival, because they just couldn't do it anymore. Maybe it was economics. It was probably economics, let's face it. And that to me is pretty sad, because I feel like that festival is a really cool version of a beer festival in that it is filled with awesome beers. It's a lot of fresh hop beers. It was a lot of local breweries. It's a lot of, and I would see the same people there every year. I loved going to it. It was my favorite festival of the year. So I'm bummed that we're gonna miss out on that. Loose Screw is picking up the pieces. They're going to do a version of it. So we'll talk about that later with Mike, that I think you guys are all gonna kind of like. And we have other stuff coming up. So I thought what I would do is I would go into the Google and I would search up and see what we have coming up in the state of Idaho as far as festivals go, because it is festival season. And if I miss anything, you are more than welcome to comment on the bottom or email me, text me, smoke screen, whatever it is you need to do, and let me know what I missed. So starting out today, actually, we have Pumpkin Fest. This is featuring Elysian. That makes sense. Elysian, they love their pumpkin beers over there at Elysian. Even since Bud Bottom, they still do all those things. So this is going to be today in Idaho Falls at Tap and Fill. Awesome spot. If you haven't been there before, this is a great time to go check it out. If you're in Idaho Falls, or even if you're not, make your way over there to enjoy seasonal pumpkin beers on tap, with some even served directly from hollowed out pumpkins. So look out for that. That's going to be in Idaho Falls at Tap and Fill. This is the Pumpkin Fest featuring Elysian. Sorry, I'm going to take a drink. That's a tasty beverage. Pellegrino, if I'm not mistaken. Next up, we got the Boats, Bikes, Burgers, and Brews. That's a mouthful. Good Lord. This is going to be tomorrow, Saturday, October 11th at the Hagedon Marine Group. This is in Coeur d'Alene. This is an event featuring, give you 2, 3, 4 guesses. Boats, bikes, food, and beer. Burgers. I don't know why in the details section they put food instead of burgers. Stick with your alliteration, people. We need that alliteration. It's what makes us remember things. Boats, bikes, burgers, and brews. Boom, bam, bingo. Not boats, bikes, food, and beer. No, you want the B's in there. This is simple marketing, folks. I am here for you. Hagedon, call me up. Let's do some business. So that'll be a lot of fun. Boats, Bikes, Burgers, and Brews at the Hagedon Marine Group in Coeur d'Alene. That's right down there on the water. Woos and Brews with Moonsong Malamute Rescue. This is going to be also tomorrow. This is happening at Barbarian Brewing there in Garden City. This is a fundraiser for the Moonsong Malamute Rescue. This is a nonprofit close to James and Bree's heart. I know that they have at least one Malamute. I'm pretty sure they have a husky and a Malamute, I believe. So this is a fundraiser for Moonsong. This is going to have a silent auction, a raffle, food trucks, the whole shebang-a-bang. And of course, Barbarian Brewing's beer will be there. I believe they'll have their Oktoberfest beers on, their fest beers. So that should be a lot of fun down there in Garden City, the Woos and Brews. Let's see. Oh, this one we're going to talk about more later, the Freshies and Friends Fest. This is the new Fresh Hop Festival that they're going to do at Loose Screw in downtown Meridian. And we talk about that later, so I'll get to that in a little bit. Prairie Falls Beer Fest, Brew Fest. This is in Post Falls, up there, up north. Get up there to Ironwood and Ice in Post Falls. Cool spot. This is going to be Saturday, October 18th. Craft beer and cider tasting for adults. Well, I'm going to go after dark, I imagine. I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh my God. Yes, that's what it is. It's a craft beer and cider tasting event for adults. For adults. After dark. Ironwood and Ice in Post Falls. Be there or be square. This is, let's see what else. This is just says Core Freshies Winter Kickoff. I think they forgot the rest of the name of the town. Coeur d'Alene Freshies Winter Kickoff, maybe. This is going to be at Vantage Point Brewing in Coeur d'Alene. Awesome spot. If you haven't been there before, go check it out. This is a great opportunity. This is Friday, October 24th. Get out there for the winter kickoff party. This is kicking off winter. Raffles, food, beer, and the premiere of a snowmobile film. Cool. Boo Brew and Crawloween. This is going to be Saturday, October 25th. This is also in Idaho Falls, downtown. In lovely downtown Idaho Falls. I love downtown Idaho Falls. So fun. Plus those falls are right there. It's not just a clever name. There are falls. This is going to be a Hollywood themed event, including a pub crawl. And if I know my pub crawls in Idaho Falls, this is going to end up at Ford's with karaoke. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Go check that out. Downtown Idaho Falls, Saturday, October 25th, a Hollywood themed event, including a pub crawl. And we'll go ahead and throw some links up on the show notes for some of these as well. Then we have some other ones coming up in November, a lot of concerts, a lot of fun stuff going on. So cool festivals coming up. And I would say if you want to keep the festivals around, then go visit them. Go pay money and drink beer at them. I mean, most of these go to one foundation or another. I know the Moonsong Malamute Rescue one, that 100% of proceeds are going to that from the Wooz and Brews at Barbarian. And I'm pretty sure most of these have some sort of charity element as well. So make sure you're checking out one or more of those things going on in the state this month. If you have an event that you want me to talk about on the show, send it to me, idahoboozepod@gmail.com. You can send it there and let me know what's going on so I can talk about it on the show and pump up your event. I'm happy to do it. Happy to put it on Facebook. Happy to put it on my 1,000 or so fans on Instagram. Happy to do all that stuff for you guys out there because I want to support you as much as I can. Speaking of support, thanks to everybody who read this week's Craft Beer is Dead column. Really appreciate all of the little comments and notes. If you are on Reddit, please go check it out and leave a snarky note. They're my favorite. One guy, I just go through and I basically just put thanks for reading on all of them, even when they call me a narcissist, even when they tell me my takes suck, even when they tell me I can't write. I say thanks for reading. And one guy said, you can just thank me for reading, but I'm not going to read your article. So shout out to that guy. I think his name was Alone in My Basement 45. Or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I love Reddit. I love all you guys reading. Thank you so much for reading the column, the Craft Beer is Dead column. Right now, until things change, coming out every week on Monday. So I'm getting that out hopefully around 4 o'clock or so. You can get onto my Substack, idahobooze.substack.com. You can get that sent to your email box each and every week, along with this show and any other little ramblings or whatever I might have that I want to stick out on the Substack, including updates on my upcoming book on Idaho wine, which has been a lot of fun as well. So big beer show coming up. We have Mike Garcia from Loose Screw Brewing Company. We also have Mindy Ridgeway, the new executive director of IBU. She's not the new Sheila. I keep telling myself that. She's not. Can't replace Sheila, can we? We can. She was really nice. Anyway, we'll have all that and more coming up next on the Idaho Brewers Podcast.
Darauf bin ich da, ich bin deutsch. Das heißt, dass ich mich dafür nicht schäme, das ist meine DNA.
Fall is here, and that means football season. Gear up for your next Boise State or Idaho Vandal tailgate at Treasure Valley Chevron. Find propane, charcoal, wood chips, hell, even barbecue tools to cook up the best pregame snacks for you and your family at TVC. They have the best selection of rubs, sauces, spices, and TVC also carries a huge assortment of hot sauces, perfect for spicing up those hot dogs and hamburgers. Need some liquid encouragement? TVC has a huge selection of ice-cold beer, ready-to-drink cocktails, seltzers, and sodas to fill the cooler up right. Get to Treasure Valley Chevron at Beacon Light and Highway 55 or I-84 and Gowan Road to get set up for your next tailgate. Welcome back to the Idaho Brewers Podcast. I'm Steve Kuntz, and if I sound like I am live from a location, it's because I indeed am live from Loose Screw Brewing here in downtown Meridian. Beautiful new, well, not so new anymore, right, Mike? I mean, we're about a year in. So what's going on? I'm here with Mike Garcia. I'm here with Mindy Ridgeway from IBU. Mike, obviously from Loose Screw. And about a year ago, we were up here while construction was happening downstairs, and kind of up here too, actually. There was just construction everywhere. They were building all sorts of things all over the place. And today we're here, and it's a thriving brew pub right in the middle of beautiful downtown Meridian. And what has the last year been like for you and your team here at Loose Screw, Mike?
Yeah, well, not quite a year. We're at 11 months right now, so I suspect our last interview was probably around October time.
We can round up.
And that was, definitely crunch time. Behind schedule and trying to get a lot of stuff done, a lot of trades in and out in the last month when we did that last interview. So I imagine it was probably pretty messy during that interview, but last 10 plus months, it's been kind of surreal to really think that we've been in this space for almost a year, and already the impact that we've made either in downtown Meridian or just the overall community of Meridian. It's been, we put a lot of time, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into the design. And everything, we put a lot of eggs in one basket, my wife and I, with this project, and it's been really good to see it launch so successfully and so well received by the community. You come by on a given Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and there's oftentimes you can't find an open seat in the place. So, although I want to have a seat for everybody, but it's good to see that.
Yeah, at the same time, there's plenty of standing room, and there's lots of little nooks and crannies where people can find spots. I've been here on nights just like you're talking about, and I had to actually I just pulled some strings. I kick people out. I'm not a very good person, but I think one of the biggest things about your new spot, and I've talked with some people in the know about this as well, is not only is the spot a lot better, but your beer is a lot better. Talk about how that's sort of come about, and I mean, you have to be elated. You had an Oktoberfest. I was here for your pre-Oktoberfest party the other day, and it was gangbusters, tons of people here. The Okto and the Schwartz, both great beers. I would say I had the Okto last year. I'd say it was a market improvement over the Okto from last year. So what goes into that? What do you think is helping with that and making the beer that much better?
Yeah, I mean, I think, our team with Jake and Marcos back there, sure. the new brewery equipment, going full reverse osmosis and building back water chemistry, either based on the style or that region that it comes from. That and just using overall quality ingredients and taking the proper steps, especially on our lagers. We're going a full 8+ weeks on all of our lagers, and both of those are our lagers coming out of our horizontals. And everything that we do, every step, we're focused on quality, because again, I mean, we are a retail establishment. We have very little to no wholesale distribution, which is done on purpose. We want to focus on quality rather than quantity.
For sure.
But yeah, no, I'm glad you came out on Friday. Glad you were able to find a spot. That was within that about
Again, I just big time people.
With that 3-hour stretch, man, that was our busiest time we've had in the last 11 months, 10 to 11 months here in this space. And you put a lot of effort and time into planning an event, and it came around 5 o'clock, and the place was maybe like a 10th full, and so you kind of get a little nervous, given the really party didn't start till 6, but all the time and effort that our team put in, it was really cool to step back and kind of watch it all operate efficiently too. You kind of worry about that chaos happening, but it was really controlled chaos, all due to in part by our staff.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. Is first of all, Western Ada County is nothing if not punctual. We're not going to show up early. We'll get here right at 6, right when things start. And Mindy, we're going to get to you very quickly, very soon. Mindy's here. She's smiling. She's being very polite. She has some things to say. She's written some things down. We're going to get to you in just 1 second, Mindy. I promise. But that was the other thing I was going to say, was just how smooth everything was. I feel like, and this is a note that a lot of brewery owners out there are going to are going to hear, and they're going to take it the right way, which is you had both of your head brewers out working the tent, getting people through. I told both Jake and Marcos when I saw them back there, I was like, this is amazing. I don't think I've ever had a head brewer come out, and let alone two, come out and work the booth. So congrats to you on getting such great people, fostering such a great environment. And yeah, it was really easy to order beers. It was really easy to get them. It was really easy to pay for them. Everything was super smooth.
Yeah,
totally.
yeah. And we try to implement that, every day, whether it's a Monday, a Friday, an Oktoberfest, it's all about that customer experience. And we really try to elevate that, and be the best we can at that. Because, as you know, you can get a craft beer at any, beer bar and restaurant these days. So really how we try to stand apart is that service aspect. And whether it's our brewers out, mingling, talking up process, and our employees as well. So we do a lot of Cicerone training and a lot of hands-on experience back with the brewers in the brewery. So no, I was happy that was a successful Friday, and that rolled right into our busiest Chamber Oktoberfest the next day, which we served. We're still waiting on the cell data counts, but we think that we probably had over 11,000 people in downtown Meridian. We were one of 4 beer gardens, the only brewery hosting a beer garden, and we sold a lot of beer.
Nice.
About, I think, a little over 18 kegs, I know kicked.
18 kegs. Ooh.
Yeah, all within, what was that, an 8-hour period.
What's your capacity downstairs in your brew house?
Right now we're annualized probably to hit around 900 barrels.
I just mean for one batch.
Oh, for one batch. It's a 10-barrel system.
So you basically maxed out, you did a whole batch.
Oh, yeah.
Sold a whole batch in one day.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
entire
awesome.
batch. And most of that was Oktoberfest.
Yeah. Schwartz, well, you know what? I think people should get on the Schwartz.
Yeah.
I like the Schwartz, too. I thought it was really good. Mindy, you've heard a lot of these terms, barrel, Oktoberfest, Schwartz beer. You are the new, executive director? Is that what your title is?
Yes, that's my title.
Of the Idaho Brewers United?
Yep.
Well, talk to us about how that happened, how you became the new executive director. Obviously, there must have been a power struggle. You kicked Sheila to the curb. And we here at the Idaho Booze Podcast support that. We like to see powerful people come out on top and the weak be sent back to McCall where they belong. So tell us all about what happened, the power struggle that ensued, and how you came out on top.
Well, she was pregnant, so it was pretty easy. But
Yep.
no, I've been
That's just like her, by the way.
right.
Yeah.
Pregnant, claim that she's losing. No, I've been around for a while doing beer fests and volunteering. In fact, that's how I met Sheila, volunteering at Destination Beer. And she kind of reached out when she knew she was leaving, and things happened, and I suddenly got the spot.
Oh, wow. So it was a nighttime, late at night coup, sounds like.
That's right.
Kind of just took over. And she let you right in the door.
She did.
That's amazing. And how, so you've been doing this for maybe 6 months now, something like that, 8
Yeah,
months?
something like that.
And how's it going?
And not too bad. It took a minute to kind of get my feet under me, but things are rolling now, and I feel like I finally know what's going on.
Yeah?
That helps.
Which breweries are giving you the most problems? Let's get it out there.
Definitely Loose Screw.
Let's. So what exactly is your job then with IBU? What is your day-to-day, or what's your week-to-week look like?
Oh, right now it's a lot of catch up a little bit, just trying to figure
Because
out.
it was left in shambles by the previous administration.
Not left in shambles. But when someone's been there for 9 years, it takes a little bit, to ease into that transition and introduce myself. So I've been doing a lot of driving
Yeah?
around Idaho, trying to put faces to names and let them know who I am, and
Yeah.
just the typical admin work, of course, but a big part, I started doing guild socials. So I had one up in Coeur d'Alene, had one over in Driggs at Citizen 33, just trying to get members in and involved, and let me know what they're thinking, what they want to see going forward, that kind of thing.
And how did those go? Oh, Mike sounds like he has a question.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I think in any organization, business, nonprofit, whatever, I mean, change can be good. And it's been great to have Mindy on board. I serve on the board for the Guild as well. Underneath Dan Love of Mother Earth, who's the current president. But, Dan really took spearheaded the solicitation and seeking out a new executive director when we heard Sheila was stepping away. And yeah, it's been a great transition so far. We're so happy to have Mindy on board. And honestly, this isn't an easy position. There's a lot of, I would say even logistical, but I was going to say, more so laws and other things that, at stake that, and some advancements that we want to make through lobbying efforts. But, we are in a geographically challenged state, where you have clusters of breweries, in different locations, and to try to have one guild that makes everybody feel welcome and part of one team of Idaho is a challenge. So I love to hear what Mindy's doing with those kind of guild socials, trying to bring all these Idaho breweries together. It can be challenging at times.
Yeah, Mindy, have you been up to see our friends up in the Pacific time zone?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have family up there, so I'm there quite a bit.
Oh, yeah? Whereabouts? Coeur d'Alene?
Priest Lake.
Priest Lake? Okay, cool. So, yeah, we have some breweries up there, and they're doing really well. What was your takeaway from visiting with those folks up there?
They have a fantastic community up there. I mean, the beer community is phenomenal, and they're willing to do anything to help and, get the word out and, come up north, drink our beer. They're great.
Some of the takeaways I found when I go up there are that it is true that there is like a divide, right? Like they think it's definitely like the state of Boise and then everyone else, right? Well, what about the ones like out east, like some of those ones out there? They're kind of caught in the middle, right? Because they're not in the Pacific time zone, and yet they're also not in Boise. Yeah. So they have to kind of deal with both sides of it a little bit. But I think that moving forward, it's probably, at least for my podcast, I've always tried to have those guys on, and I've tried to have not only them, but also the distilleries and the wineries up there as well. So do you think it's we need a good give and take? We need, them to also want to be a part of this community down here as much as we should want them to be a part of it? Or what do you think the answer is there?
You're talking up north or east?
Both, up north and all the people that aren't here.
Yeah. I think up north, they are geographically so far that they do feel like they're their own little community.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they feel it's necessary to be part of Boise's community.
I've heard that.
I would love to see them more, but it's understandable. I mean, it takes me 9 hours just to get up there. East is a different story. They're not as far, but I think they feel very much like they're on an island out there.
Yeah.
And I would love to see more.
I think Wolf would prefer to be on an island,
yes,
personally.
I think so.
What were some surprises or some takeaways you found from some of the breweries up north, some of the ones we don't get to see? Maybe even some beers that you had up there that you liked?
Yeah, there was a couple of new places that I had never heard of, and when I went in, one of them, Brewscape, female brewer, which I didn't even know. I was kind of out of the loop on some of the newer breweries up there, and she's just putting out some great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is she?
Really good beer. Hayden, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just north of Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah, just right outside of Coeur d'Alene. Mm-hmm. And, Outpost Brewing up there also had a new location that I went into for the first time, and great little bunch of regulars in there. I got to know some people and chat with them. And no, you just feel right at home everywhere you go up there. You just walk in and people start talking to you, and the next thing you know, they're like, come back next week. Like, I wish I could.
There's also some breweries up there, I think, that have done a really good job of sort of maximizing their position up there. I think Vantage Point does a really good job of making sure that they have beers on pretty much at any place, any local place that is right around like 3rd Avenue or Sherman, or, these are all Coeur d'Alene street names. I know them. I don't like to brag. I know my way around Coeur d'Alene pretty good. I went to high school in Spokane. So I think Vantage Point has done a really good job. Post Falls Brewing has seemed to, if they haven't grown, they've at least kept their spot, which in this day and age is pretty great. What do you think some of the biggest obstacles we have, not only down here but up there? What do you think, what are we looking at here for the next couple months, maybe 6 or 7 months?
I think right now people are trying to get through the whole fest season. I mean, it's just been nonstop. Every time you look at anything that's going on with breweries, it's just one event after another.
Mike wants one every weekend.
Right?
He's like, I just knocked out 9 barrels of beer in one event. I wish these were every day.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, you're right. This is a tricky part of the year too, because there's like Oktoberfest, fresh hop, pumpkin, then you're right into like Imperial Stout season, whatever else. So yeah, so have you seen, or do you guys at IBU have some ways that you're going to help, like maybe help promote, or maybe help build up these fests a little bit more, even the ones that maybe IBU isn't a sponsor of?
Oh yeah, I discovered when I took over the Trail app that we just put out that it has the capability of doing badges. So I started creating badges for some of these beer fests so people can go and stamp their passport. And when you stamp your passport, you can get prizes that I personally have to mail.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, Sheila would show up with a little package for everybody. Here you go. Here's your keychain.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sheila.
So that's been helping, and I'm actually meeting with them this week because I found out you can do regional ale trails. And so if people are just going to Coeur d'Alene, they can do a little ale trail there. Just do one in Boise. They can do one in East Idaho. So McCall, I'm actually talking to Sheila about putting a little stamp together, a little badge for the McCall Ale Trail. So. Oh
yeah, in her new role at the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mindy, since you interact with those northern breweries more often and elsewhere, outside of the Boise
those
market.
Breweries? Is that what you said? Did you say those breweries?
The northern breweries and eastern breweries. What are you hearing from them that they need as far as guild support?
I think mostly it's that they feel everything revolves around Boise.
Yeah.
I think they would like to just get a little more consideration about things when they get decided, like maybe it's not just like Boise that we're deciding for. I mean, it is all of Idaho. Yeah. Something that, has been a priority for me, and this is my board hat coming off and me as a business owner of Loose Screw, but, one thing that I would love to see, some lobbying efforts towards is increasing the number of tap rooms. I think it's kind of crazy in the state that we can only have 2, and one has to be attached to your brew house.
You've listened to the podcast. Yeah, I'm a huge proponent of that as well. I think it's insane that the state, which prides itself on being so great to small business and to helping out the little guy, takes one entire community of businesses and limits exactly what they can do. Not only that, but makes you pay an arm and a leg for all the stuff you need to have the business, i.e. liquor licenses or beer and wine licenses or tap room, how many people you're allowed in the tap room, stuff like that, hours you can be open. God, and wine, and some places in Ada County you have to have, it's by appointment only. For our friends in the wine industry, at least that. I mean, that's insane. So I agree with you, Mike. So what are we going to do about that, Mindy? How are we killing that?
Well,
let's get it out. Let's start it now.
This seems to be a conversation in Boise, and I have not heard it anywhere else. So that's also tough.
Well, that's interesting to me because I know a couple of those breweries up there already have their 2, and they would love to do another one. I think if you're like Rivara Winery, for instance, they're not a brewery, so they have 2 already. I know they'd want a 3rd one down here. Why wouldn't you? And if you're Vantage Point or some of the other big guys up there, why wouldn't you want to have a 3rd one in McCall or somewhere else? I mean, maybe that's just them not thinking like on a large enough scope.
Maybe they're just not there yet. I mean, I think the bigger you get, the more you start thinking about that. But when you're still small, there's not actually only a couple up there that have more than one tap room.
Yeah. But Spokane Coeur d'Alene's a pretty big spot. I think they have more people than Boise, right? So I don't know why they wouldn't be looking towards that as well. Are they allowed to jump state lines and open a spot in Washington State? Do you know?
I don't think so.
That's interesting.
But I haven't checked into that.
So, Mike, what's the process, do you think, for making that happen?
Yeah, I think we just need to, get with our local legislation and, start to push that topic. Within our model, we are a taproom model, like I said, through and through. Would I love to go open up a spot in, McCall or maybe up north or east? We would definitely be open to it. I think we're a perfect case study here of what we did. We took a blighted building that was vacant for about 15 years, pumped a lot of money into it.
This was a dead building.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Well, we don't want to put that out in the public, but we hired 12 people, and we because of this, we're giving a lot back into the community too.
Totally.
It's a no-brainer, and I think grouping us into this kind of alcohol kind of sense that, being a bar in a sense, I think is incorrect, because, people aren't coming here in the same way they do to a couple of the other bars down the street here in downtown Meridian.
No.
It's a totally different look, feel.
Anybody that doesn't have a sense of what a brewery brings to a community just doesn't have their head out and looking at the landscape. They have their head deeply buried in the sand. Look at Pocatello. When Penny opened that spot in the rail yards, basically, of Pocatello, nothing was there. Now it's got like 2 or 3 restaurants, another couple bars. It's not dangerous. It's like a cool spot now where Portneuf is. And that's happened in Victor. It's happened in Driggs. It's happened here. It's happened even in Coeur d'Alene. That part where, again, I bring up Vantage Point again just because I don't know why they're top of mind, but they are. Where they are was nothing. There was nothing there either. And it's like the top of Sherman. It's like as you're going over towards the golf course, kind of, if you're not familiar with where it is. And there was nothing there. I mean, there was like a Zips. And now they're thriving. I think that it's one of the things that I'm pretty passionate about too. I was, even when I worked in the beer industry, because we were on the same model as you guys. We were basically like, we wanted to be a taproom model. We were opening a second spot. And obviously, I mean, gosh, you don't think the president of IBU, Dan Love, doesn't want to open a third spot? I mean, come on.
Sure.
But yeah, I think that's a really important thing. Are there any other topics that you look at as both a business owner and a board member that you think are important?
I think just protecting our rights here as Idaho breweries. There was some legislation that was passed recently that gave the ability for self-distribution breweries out of state to come in. However, the restrictions put in place by those still makes it difficult. And that came about. This is very recent, probably since your tenure started. But it requires those out-of-state breweries to own a physical property here in the state of Idaho, domicile that beer in that property for an undetermined amount of time, and use company vehicles to then move that beer.
They basically have to become like a distributor. They have to be a brewery and a distributor. Okay, what side of the coin are you on this one? Because I have so many thoughts about it. I'm sure you do too, Mindy. Jump in anytime.
Yeah, I think anything we can do to improve the local, I should say, the craft beer scene, I'm all about. However, I feel as a board member of the guild, in addition to owning a small craft brewery here, I want to protect those rights of our local breweries. So I was happy, we had to come to kind of a middle ground with that legislation. I was happy with the way it came about, because it's not necessarily easy to get that beer into the state. And they at least have to invest, something into the state in order to bring that beer in.
Yeah, I guess. So the idea is that they buy a building, they buy a piece of land, and then they have to ship all the beer in through the state, however that works, which doesn't work because the state doesn't control beer as much as it controls liquor and wine, or at least liquor. I don't know about wine. Probably not. And then they would, if they could, hold the beer here and then distribute it themselves, they would, in fact, be like their own little kind of 3-tiered system within one thing, which is skirting federal law of the 3-tiered system, which we're already doing here anyway because one distributor owns everything. And also screwing over a lot of local businesses here that can't do the same thing, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I don't know if anybody has actually taken advantage of it and done it yet. So
I'll give you one that did. 10 Barrel Brewing.
Oh, yeah.
Not only did they take advantage of that, but they also had the city pay for them a brand new building.
Yeah.
That was $7 million that they renovated for another $4 million. And then 10 Barrel sold to Budweiser about a week after they opened. That happened. I remember that one. That was a fun one. And that is like the worst case scenario of what could happen. Even though I love our friends at 10 Barrel, great guys. When Sean was there, love him, good people. And now that they're owned by a weed company or whatever, fine, whatever. But that's really the worst case scenario. And what were they talking about? It was Deschutes, right? That was talking about doing a place, and Deschutes was going to come in and buy a spot down on the, basically like where Payette is, and they were going to do that whole thing, and then they got bought, so now they're not doing it. So I mean, I would look at this as like, okay, there are awesome ways that this could happen, right? Like if Barley Browns, if Tyler decided he wanted to build a place here and do that, awesome. Fuck yeah. Tyler, come on in. Love him. Love his beer. Great dude. And he's basically local. I mean, Baker City. Come on.
Yeah.
But like, besides what happened with 10 Barrel, then what's the biggest downside to it?
Well, and to be clear, I'm talking about self-distribution coming across state lines. Barley uses a distributor to come across state lines.
Well, for now they do.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't know. Like their distributor got bought.
Sure. And I think for me, it's, protecting our breweries here. You get a bunch of other, out-of-state breweries starting to come in. And I mean, as you know, and you've talked about, quite a bit, especially as of late, the industry's, it's in a tough spot right now.
Yeah.
And, anything we can do to protect that dollar going to an actual Idaho brewery, I think we need to do. Especially
since now we're starting to see, like, okay, I could see maybe 10 or 15 years ago where people were like, well, I would go to a brewery, but now I kind of dare you to go to a local brewery and not find something on tap that's good. I've been talking about this too a lot, actually. And I think with you guys here with your new system and all the awesome beers you're doing here, I think Sockey's beers have never tasted better. Payette, I don't know. I haven't really been there in a while since they moved everything to Colorado. But I see, and Mother Earth. I mean, Mother Earth has moved all their brewing operations here now, pretty much. And I think the quality is a lot higher than it used to be. The wait staff couldn't be more friendly. The spots are easy to get to now, especially, Dan looks like a genius now opening up in Nampa because that place has exploded. And then we have Caldwell where there's room, Eagle, Gem State's doing really well there. So my thing with this piece of legislation is that it really does work against a lot of our friends in the brewing industry, because what if Revision decides to open up downtown?
Sure.
For instance, Jeremy is a heck of a business guy. He knows what he's doing. And he's like, okay, I can open up there. I don't have to brew anything. I just have to ship it. So that's nice. And then who does that put out of business? Ironically, probably 10 Barrel.
Yeah.
So that's and you guys being the only, and you guys have a little bit of a weird competitor down here too with Voodoo, where that's kind of what they do, right?
Yeah, in a sense. They're a franchise. Our beer, when it's on over there, is typically their top seller.
Yeah.
So they bring in a lot of local beer in addition to their franchisor's beer. But yeah, we're still the only actual producing brewery here in Meridian. But there's a lot of other beer bars out there.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you think, Mindy? Is there room for a bunch of breweries to come across state lines and open up here?
Oh, I hope not. I know one of the things I've been hearing is trying to get more local beer on local taps, not just in the breweries.
Oh, yeah.
But, you go to any bar downtown and you're lucky to find one local brewery on tap, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
And I know that's a lot of the distributors, but...
Distributor.
Something I would love to work on. Yes, the distributor.
There's only one.
So yeah, that would be something to work on.
We love you, Dodds, but there's only one.
I know up north they get a lot of no-lie up in Coeur d'Alene, and
Spokane.
They're a great brewery. I love them, but it's not
great.
We have excellent breweries in Coeur d'Alene. You don't need no-lie.
Yeah.
So
we don't need no-lie. That's a T-shirt.
Yeah, I think some other topics, as far as IBU is concerned, wastewater was definitely, a heavy topic out of the Boise breweries.
Man.
I think that's kind of gone away for the time being. We'll see if that resurfaces again. And, IBU, I think as a guild and supporting those breweries, I think we've got to be there to help them out.
And at what time did Colin call you with his water bill at the city of Boise, Ada County? Was it Ada County or city of Boise?
That wasn't even during your time, right?
Oh, you were near it? That's too bad.
She came in right after that. She missed all that debacle.
That was a fun debacle.
Oh, dude.
Was it Ada County or city of Boise?
Boise.
City of Boise tried to run all of our breweries out of town by charging them back pay on water bills when they said they wouldn't charge.
Yeah, and ultimately, the guild here is to support.
They can't do that to you here in Meridian because they're here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I was gonna say, at the end of the day, the guild's here to really support our local craft beer scene. We've recently made some steps to make it more approachable and feasible for the really small micro nano breweries to become members, and more of a kind of a tiered annual membership. So I was excited to see that, and I think we picked up a few memberships from that. And just the more buy-in we can get from our local breweries, the better.
For sure. And I think that there's a lot more meat on this bone. Let's take a quick break. We'll resettle. I'll get calmed down, and we'll come right back and talk more about some of the new local breweries we've seen come to the state and come to Northern Idaho, come to the city of Boise, and we'll talk about those new guys and kind of the fun stuff they're bringing right after this. Really just want to knock out of the park in the next year or so.
I think it's that local beer on local taps that drives me insane. I want to go out and have craft beer wherever I go.
Yeah, and I think that I know that if you work together with some of our friends in some other of the alcohol businesses here in the state, I think you would find the same complaints as well, because it is true. I do think that sometimes, because Mike in his position as a brewery owner and me as someone who likes to go out and no longer involved with any brewery, so I can kind of just say whatever I want. I think it's really annoying that Bodhisattva is the IPA of Idaho.
Yeah.
I love Bodhisattva. You know what? I have a 6-pack of it in my fridge right now. Seattle Mariners are playing in the playoffs. I gotta go with a Seattle. Mike knows what I'm talking about. He's from close enough to Seattle, right, Mike?
Oh gosh, yeah, no, not quite.
So I'm tired of it. Yeah. I'm tired of seeing so much of that on tap. I think it's a great beer. Love Georgetown, great people. Yeah. Awesome, everything awesome, except for the fact that. So what sort of, or if you have had any conversations with some breweries in the state, what are they looking for, and what's their sort of solution to that problem?
I don't know that anyone's come up with a solution to that. I've had a few people mention it. I think they have more local concerns at the moment.
I have a couple, not surprising. So the first one is, you know how Bodhisattva comes in an orange box? Mm-hmm. The 6-pack is orange. How about Boise Zava? That's a free one.
There we go.
Whoever wants to do it can take it. I would suggest Boise. Boise Brewing recently redid their IPA with a green label. I feel like orange was the way to go. I think that could be a good one. Another one would be just pick a movie with Keanu Reeves, maybe The Devil's Advocate, and just start naming your beers after people in that movie. That could be one. Lucifer, who wouldn't want a Lucifer? Lucifer Pale Ale. I don't know who the other characters are. I don't know who's in there. Charlize Theron is in there, right?
I don't know. I would have picked John Wick. So.
Perfect. John Wick. That's even better. Halle Berry. You could do a Halle Berry Pale Ale. You could do a, what's the guy's name who's Al Swearinger in the John Wick? You don't know?
I'm not sure.
I mean, he could have a porter.
He's always Al Swearinger.
Well, yeah, he's always Al Swearinger. That's true. That was weird. Anyway, lots of ideas. And what are some things that maybe you think? Do you have like a ground game or anything like that, or is this just something that you know is a problem and you haven't quite got to the solution yet?
No, it's just something that's recently come up, and it's sort of percolating in my brain right now of things we can do to get that moving forward.
You know, one of the things when I was selling beer that I found to be extremely difficult and then extremely easy was getting beers into chains. And it's something that I think some of the local brewers don't like to do as much because they feel like we're all kind of Gen Xers. We don't want to sell out. But getting beer into Chili's is pretty good, actually. It works out really well for your business. That might be a way to do it. Or maybe, I don't know, what do you think, there are some people that own like multiple bars, right? Like local people. Mm-hmm. Like I think the same guy that owns 127 Saloon owns like 5 or 6 bars, right?
Correct.
What about just getting that guy in a room and just like blasting him with local beers until he finally picks some out?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have local beers on. I don't know what he...
Yeah, and I think maybe it's something where, IBU could spearhead like a campaign, in a way.
Not a kidnapping.
Yeah, no, not a kidnapping, but so some kind of campaign, literature, whatever it may be, to make it sound really simple, but really to go out to all these local, bar owners, restaurants, and try to emphasize the impact, either financial impact or the employee impact, however you want to spin it, of what local beer means here, and what it means also when they're bringing in Bodie.
Yeah. Well, here's something for you. My guy over here who owns a local brewery just sold 18 kegs of Oktoberfest. So there's an idea. So that local beer didn't seem to do too badly.
Yeah.
And I bet there were some other beers that were not local that did not fare as well at that. I bet the city of Meridian is sitting on a few kegs of Spaten or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I think that there are a lot of, there's no bad ideas in spitballing for sure. But my kidnapping idea maybe was on the wrong end of things. But also, I think there's some positives there.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we get everyone in one room. It's a locked room.
They have to listen.
You guys have like a basement here, right, Mike?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
About 3,000 square feet. We
Yeah,
fit a lot of
it's
people
nice.
down
It's a
there.
big basement.
Yeah.
You get a lot of people in there.
Yeah.
And are they finding that this is a problem up north as well, or is it just kind of like down here?
They are.
Yeah.
Up north, they see a lot of no-lie, and Irish Death is everywhere, which is hilarious because Bombastic's up there, and they have some very good, heavy, dark beers that everyone loves, yet it's Irish Death everywhere.
Hey, Mike, were you here when Irish Death invaded Boise?
No.
Oh, you weren't here for that one?
No.
This was deeply disturbing. My young lady I had working for me at Edge, she was one of our bartenders. Her name's Emily. She knows who she is. She went to work for them and was extremely good at her job, which upset me in a number of ways. One way was that if she wanted to sell beer, why didn't she just ask me for a job? I would have got her a job in 2 seconds selling Edge beer, which would have been great. And two, the other way that it vexed me was that she put out this Irish Death all over town, and I could not understand for the life of me what was happening. It was like a year and a half of Irish Death.
Yes.
Have you had Irish Death?
Yes.
And what do you think of Irish Death?
I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
Have you had Irish Death before, Mike?
I have not.
Okay, so it's a dark beer, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not a stout.
No, I don't think so.
But it's not an amber.
No.
So it's like Arrogant Bastard with roasted malt and like sort of a caramely taste. Is that fair? And just a ton of booze.
Yeah.
It's 7 or 8%, something like that. Big beer. It was me, Struble, all the guys that sold beer in town here just were like, what is happening? Why is this happening? Why, what? Why, what? And it was Emily. Totally was. She's amazing. Yeah. Now, thank God she sells for Pepsi or Coke or something now. But she and her family owns like Watkins. So she's a beer heiress too. She knows all this. I tell her all this stuff all the time. She's great.
I just think it helps with people anywhere they go. If they ask, what do you have that's local? Mm-hmm. I do that everywhere. I love the whiskey bar downtown. They've only got like 4 beer taps, but every time I'm there, what do you have that's local? And they're like, nobody cares. I'm like, I care.
Yeah. That's funny because Lucky 13 has a good amount of local beers on too, and I think they're his sister or whatever, kind of owned by the same people. So that's good. Shout out to those guys. Great job by you. Everyone else. I think Tap House does a good job. I think Dave Crick does a good job of keeping local stuff on. I think there are a lot of restaurants that do a pretty good job, but I hear what you're saying. I think it's those family restaurants, the ones that always get me, like Smoky Mountain Pizza and stuff like that, where you go in. Like I was just in there the other day, and there was only like one thing on that was local. And I'm like, you guys are like a local company, right? Like, support local, help us out.
Yeah, I was in a Waikiki Tavern last month, and they had one local beer on tap. It was Bear Island, and they had like 3 empty taps. I was like, what is happening?
That's just, come on, John. You can do better than that. Let's go. So anyway, we're going to get off that subject because my face is turning red. I can feel it. And I want to talk about some things coming up, most notably Friends and Freshies coming up right here. So we had a catastrophic event happen, whereas Boise Brewing decided not to do Oktoberfest Festival this year, which is, in my mind, just hurtful. That was my favorite fest of the year, just like super fun. And, I totally understand why those guys couldn't do it. I get it, and I feel bad about it. But you guys picked up the torch and ran with it. Talk to us, Mike, about Friends and Freshies and what all is happening here with that event.
Yeah. So, since building this space, we've been looking for a reason to really maximize the property and host a big festival. When we heard Boise Brewing was not going to do to the scale of their festival, I reached out to Colin. I thought, Boise Brewing and Colin did an amazing job with that event year in, year out.
Yep,
Me too. I always looked forward to that event, always attended. But since he wasn't going to do it to that scale, reached out to Colin to see if, we can go ahead and jump in. And from brewery owner to brewery owner, I felt like it was the right thing to do, to give him a call and inquire on that event. He was all about it. So we're moving forward with Freshies and Friends. Will be October 18th. So not this coming up Saturday, but next Saturday. From 2 to 8 o'clock. We've got 15 breweries or brewery-alike people coming out. I can run down the list real quick. Mother Earth, Sockeye, Bear Island, Burt's, Ruckus, Brown Beard, Lost Grove, Payette, Western Collective, White Dog, Alliteration, The Brewery, Seltzy, and Boise Booch. We'll all be out here, either in the combination of out in our back parking lot that will all be fenced off with a huge 20-foot by 70-foot tent, or out in our front normal beer garden off of Main Street. And when putting this event together, I felt like, we really owe it to our local hop scene that we have here, and being the second largest producer of hops, and really highlighting what our state provides. So first and foremost, this is all about fresh hop beers, and then second, Freshies and Friends. It's our local friends. So getting back to wanting to support local. I've been to other brewery festivals where it's a bunch of distributed beers from out of state. That is not what we wanted. First and foremost, I want local Treasure Valley breweries here, which all the ones I listed are. I would love to have all those owners out at those events as well, pouring their own beer. I just feel like what we're trying to build in this connection to the consumer is far beyond your normal beer festival. We're hoping to gather 500 plus. If we hit 1,000, that would be awesome. Festival goers here, and it's going to be a fun day. So every brewery will bring out their fresh hop beer in addition to another beer that they want to showcase. It's hopefully going to be a really good time.
Sounds amazing. Count me in. I will be here. So what's the cost going to be? What sort of system is it? Is it a ticket system? Is it a token system?
Yeah. So $30 will get you a cup with provides unlimited pours. So definitely get your money's
Better
worth.
be a big cup.
Yeah, definitely plan ahead for transportation. But no, it should be a good time. We've got Big Beans, which is our permanent food partner here at Loose Screw. We'll have a second taco stand out in the back beer garden. And then in addition to another barbecue company coming out as well. We will have music on both sides of the building. So in the back parking lot, we'll be starting out with a DJ, followed by 2 other solo acoustic artists, and then we'll have 3 other bands out in the front beer garden off of Main Street. So it'll be pretty lively soon.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I love that. All the music and the food and everything like that. And you think that you can house up to 1,000, huh?
Yeah. We feel like the property can do that, even with shutting down our parking lot, which we love having so much parking here. But the fortunate ability of being located right next to the post office, that parking lot with about 80 spots is vacant after 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's plenty of street parking too. I mean, Downtown Meridian has done a really nice job of keeping all their street parking pretty free, I think, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's one of the advantages we definitely have over here at this new location is parking is easily available.
For sure. And you guys have a couple of fresh hop beers. What do you want to divulge what fresh hop beers you guys will have?
Yeah, sure. So we did 3. So if you're not aware, we did take over a beer from Payette, which is Prairie Bard. It's a Canadian golden ale. The owner of that brand is a good friend of mine, Graham Dillette, who played on the PGA Tour. And so what we did, we took over on that beer as of this year. It is our only distributed beer that goes through walk-ins. And we did a little twist on that. It's kind of a cool twist because we not only did a fresh hop version of it, but the hops actually came out of Graham's backyard too. Yeah, so it's full circle with Graham and that beer. That beer will only be available. We only did a half barrel of it. That will only be available at Freshies and Friends. We did a full 10-barrel batch of a fresh hop Kolsch, which I think is kind of a unique one. That will also be out at Boise Brewing's smaller festival that they're doing out of their tap room. Cool. And then we did your normal big, West Coast style.
IPA.
Yeah, IPA. The IPA El Dorado from Oppendorf, and then the fresh hop Kolsch was Citra from Jackson Hop Farm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And Mindy, are you a hop fan? You like IPAs? You like big fresh hop beers?
Darks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like Irish Death?
I can drink an IPA.
Not Irish Death.
Not Irish Death, no.
So you're going to have to get your hophead drinking pants on for this one.
I will, yeah.
It's going to be a big event for you. That's my favorite thing about the Oktober Festival was getting to see everybody. So I hope that everybody kind of takes, listens to what you've just said and does decide to come out for it, because it is a nice time to be able to see everybody and kind of chat and be a community again and everything. Speaking of community, and that sounds like an awesome event. I'm really excited about it. So Friends and Freshies, that's going to be on the 18th. Is that correct?
Correct.
And it starts at 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock.
Cool. And that's going to be right here at Downtown Meridian at Loose Screw on Main Street. So you guys be sure you come out for that. We have another event coming up a little bit later. This is usually February or something like that? Destination
February.
Beer. That's going to be, is this going to be your second big event?
No, this will be my first.
Your first? Oh, okay. So what's happening? What's going on? Do we know the dates? Do we know anything? All that fun stuff.
We kind of brought it back to our roots. It's going back to one day only on a Saturday. It's going to be February 21st.
So not Super Bowl weekend. That's great.
No. No, it started out third weekend of February, and we're back. So that'll be great. And it's wonderful. You're in McCall next to the lake. Yes, it's winter, but we've got a huge tent, heat and lights, and it's just great. We've got, VIP, very limited ticket sales for that, and they can get in an hour early and kind of.
That's the eye.
Yes. And then general entry is 2 to 6.
2 to 6. Yeah. So it's just 4 hours. It's a sprint.
And if you do VIP, it's 1 to 6. So.
Oh, an extra hour in there.
Yeah.
All right. And what will the cost be on that one? Do you know that?
Yes, regular tickets are $85, VIP is $100.
Oh, okay. So to be a VIP, you only have to spend $15.
Right, and it's all fully catered. In fact, we have a little different food for the VIPs, so they get food as well.
Different how?
It's just not the same as what the general people get.
Wow. Well, I'll be interested to see what the difference is there.
Yeah. So no, it's
Taco Bell for the general admission.
But yeah, it's kind of a
Beans. We'll get beans.
No, it's kind of just a premier beer fest.
Yeah, not even kind of. It definitely is.
Yeah.
It's always been a fun time. Another great time to go and see everybody as well. So Destination Beer is happening February 21st in McCall. Make sure you get your tickets now. Get those VIP tickets. Why not? $15. You get better food, it sounds like.
It's not
different.
better.
Sorry, different.
It's just different.
Different food.
Yeah, it's a fun one. You know, we look forward to being there as a brewery too. Get to hang out with all of our brewery friends, and then all the customers that come out. It's just it's a good time.
We did have breaking news earlier. Mike did sign up for Destination Beer right before we went
right on the spot.
So Loose Screw will be there along with 15 other breweries, something like that. Was it?
There's a couple dozen.
Dozen? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like 20, 24. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that's all that's coming up. Events have been a huge part of what you guys have been doing here. What event do you guys do here that you found to be like a surprise, like surprisingly good? And which events have you guys done here where you've been like, oh, we could do better. We could do better.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes back to what I've been working on since opening this place is this one, not working 80 hours a week and then getting the right people in the right spots. So we've got an events coordinator now.
I get up to 100 hours a week.
Oh, man.
Nice
that events coordinator has really helped me out. It's that way I can focus on these larger scale events. Oktoberfest definitely surprised us with what we did here. Really looking forward to Freshies and Friends. You know, we're doing live music most Wednesday nights. We started off doing music on Friday nights, and the place was already packed to begin with. So it's like we didn't really need to bring in music. So we started to do that on Wednesday nights. That's been really popular. Our other tap room does trivia on Tuesdays and bingo on Thursdays. So we didn't want to distract from those 2 days. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how Freshies and Friends goes, and who knows, maybe we'll add on another festival here. Maybe springtime.
Awesome. Well, you guys, thanks so much. Mindy Ridgeway from IBU, Mike Garcia from Loose Screw. Thank you guys so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate it. Mike, thanks for having me out. And, I just wish you nothing but the best at IBU. Anytime you have anything to say or anytime you need like a mouthpiece, just let me know. Sheila came on the show a few times. You don't have to do that. But if you want to, the door's always open. So invitation is out there anytime you need anything from us. And Mike, thanks again for having me out. Friends and Freshies, that's going to be on October 18th, 2 o'clock. It's a Saturday. Get on out here, get some fresh hop beer. Why not? It's going to be a beautiful day that day, probably.
65 and sunny right now.
65 and sunny. So we'll see you for that later on here next week. So thanks a lot for having me. We're going to be right back with something right after this. The show brought to you by Boise Beer Buddies and BoiseBeerBuddies.com. It is that time of the year again. Oktoberfest, pumpkin beers, fresh hops. Don't get stuck paying top dollar for every single beer you're going to drink this fall. Be a buddy and get a Boise Beer Buddies card for the happiest time of the year for beer. Use my promo code BOOZEPOD to get a second Beer Buddy card for free. That's a BOGO BB. You don't want to miss out on all the amazing Oktoberfest, fresh hops, and pumpkin beers this fall, so be a buddy. Get your Boise Beer Buddies card today with my promo code BOOZEPOD at BoiseBeerBuddies.com. Welcome back to the Idaho Booze Podcast and the return of Friday Night Pints. This Friday Night Pints is brought to you by Treasure Valley Chevron. Treasure Valley Chevron has all the beer that you could ever want and more. Go check them out and get yourself a 6-pack. Their prices are awesome too on wine, beer, ready to drinks, anything you want. I was just there the other day and their wine prices are phenomenal on Idaho wines especially. And that's at Beacon Light and Highway 55, I-84 Gowan Road. Treasure Valley Chevron, Friday Night Pints happening right now. We're going to talk about Oktoberfest. And, maybe I'm a little late to this. I don't know. I don't really care. I like Oktoberfest. I'm a big fan of them. It's typically, along with Fresh Hop, probably my favorite beer, maybe second favorite. I really like them. They're lagers, they're light, they're malty, they're caramely. They're usually a little hoppy. They have a lot to them that I appreciate. And I'm going to talk about some of the ones I've had and some of the ones I want to have that you should go have as well. And first up, our friends, our daddies, actually no, our mothers, our sweet, sweet mother, Mother Earth Brewing. They have an Oktoberfest that I got the 4-pack of, and it was awesome. Really good. Light. A little bit lighter than I typically like, but a really good beer. Super flavorful. A little bit of lemony hops that I really liked, and a nice, like, sort of easy flavor all the way through. It's not too malty. It's not too hoppy. It's got a really, really nice flavor to it. So I highly suggest that one. It is out at Albertsons and everywhere else. Fred Meyer in 4-packs, I believe, 16-ounce cans, 4-packs. And then they have a special Oaked Oktoberfest at the tap room. And I got to check this out. So I'm going to head out to Nampa right now. I'll be right back. And the next thing you hear will be me back from Nampa after I drank Oaked Oktoberfest. You know what? It was pretty good. All right, Loose Screw, 2 Oktoberfest. Me and my buddy Tita went over to Loose Screw on Friday for their pre-Oktoberfest party. This was a really nice event. Super fun. Lots of people were there. And autographs, Steinholds. They had a boot that they were selling. A lot of people doing the boot by themselves, which, you know, fine. I prefer to share the boot. That's just who I am. Anyway, we had some Oktoberfest and Martzen there. Awesome beer, super malty, really great caramel malt in there. It's nice and light. It finishes really nice and strong with a little bit of kind of piney, maybe even like orange zesty sort of hops. It's a really nice Oktoberfest Martzen. If you're at Loose Screw, go check that out. They also have the Schwartz beer, and I think they stole our name. May the Schwartz be with you is what they're calling it. Someone from Edge will have to chime in and let me know. Did we call our Schwartz that? It doesn't matter. They're out of business. But yeah, may the Schwartz be with you. This one is a black lager, nice and creamy, nice finish, nice and light on the finish, big roasty component to it, and that creaminess that kind of goes throughout it. For a lager, pretty tasty. Nice job by those guys at Loose Screw. Barbarian has their fest beers out. They typically do 3, and they did 3 again this year. They have their fest beer, which they call a Bavarian style fest beer, which I see as being sort of like a Helles almost. It's sort of a Helles with a little bit more lemony hops to it, maybe even just a little bit more body as well. I think it's up there in the 5 or 6% range. Their Martzen is really tasty all the time. James usually does a really nice job with that one. It's nice and malty. It's got maybe a little bit more hop character than some of the other ones, which I appreciate. And then they did again this year the NA Martzen, which is the non-alcoholic version. I found it to be a little bit syrupy for me. But for our NA crowd out there, we talked about it last week. You know, good for you. Have at it. Get that NA. Oh, no, I talked about it in my column. That's right. In Craft Beer is Dead. Make sure you check that out. Substack. Sockeye, Oktoberfest, delicious as always. Love the new cans. They look fantastic. Payette, I haven't had their Oktoberfest. I'm sure it's great. It usually is pretty good. Burt's, I did get a 4-pack of that Oktoberfest, and it is fantastic. Make sure you check that one out. And then Gem State, coming in strong with their Oktoberfest. It had a funny name, and now I don't remember what it's called. We'll see if the Google knows what it was called. It was really good, though. It was pretty malty, nice and light, finished really, really well, and I just really liked it a lot. Can't remember. Oh, later, it was like Lederhosen, something Lederhosen. All right, Chris is going to get me for that one. But yeah, that's at Gem State Brewing. You can pick that up for $5 a pint at Gem State. Make sure you check that one out and get some. Anyways, we have coming right up. We're going to wrap things up, and that's about it. Fall is here, and that means football season. Gear up for your next Boise State or Idaho Vandal tailgate at Treasure Valley Chevron. Find propane, charcoal, wood chips, hell, even barbecue tools to cook up the best pregame snacks for you and your family at TVC. They have the best selection of rubs, sauces, spices, and TVC also carries a huge assortment of hot sauces, perfect for spicing up those hot dogs and hamburgers. Need some liquid encouragement? TVC has a huge selection of ice-cold beer, ready-to-drink cocktails, seltzers, and sodas to fill the cooler up right. Get to Treasure Valley Chevron at Beacon Light and Highway 55 or I-84 and Gowan Road to get set up for your next tailgate. Welcome back to the Idaho Brews Podcast. I'm Steve Kuntz, and I just want to thank everybody out there for listening. Really appreciate you guys weighing in when you can. We'd love to get some reviews up, so if you could, go to Apple Pods, go to YouTube, go to Spotify, and give us some reviews. I don't care if it's 1 star or 5 stars. I just like to hear what you guys think about the show. Be as bold as my friends on Reddit that are not afraid to tell me how much of a narcissist I am or how much I suck. And I'm fine with it. I love it all. So thank you so much. I am a narcissist, and I just love to know that people are listening and watching and reading and whatever. So if you could just go onto those, let me know what you think. Give me a review. It really helps. Subscribe on YouTube. That would be awesome. And we'll make sure to do some more videos once I start to see some more subscriptions, because video is a lot of fun, but it's also like 10 times as much work. So if you could go onto those platforms and give me a little review, 5 stars would be so nice. I'm not going to lie. Please do it. I need this so bad. Anyway, I want to thank Mike Garcia from Loose Screw Brewing, returning champion, back on the show. Thank you, Mike, for having me out. It was pretty sweet. There was a Mariner game on, and Mike was nice enough to set me up upstairs. I think it was more to do with my screaming than anything else. You'd have to ask him. Anyway, I was upstairs. I had an 80-inch 4K TV all to myself. I had a pint of Mike's Mild, and it was a grand old time. It was great. He set me up with a room. It was really nice of him. I really appreciate it. Natasha behind the bar, doing great things. Thank you for listening, Natasha. And this is maybe what it's come to after 60 episodes of this thing. I might just be thanking individual people for listening now. Seems like a weird way to go, but what else would you expect from this podcast? I want to thank, Mindy Ridgeway. Oh my God, Mindy. What an honor to meet her. What a great lady. She is so nice. So many stories, so much fun stuff. She's ingrained into this Idaho beer community. She already was before she got this job. Now she's the executive director at IBU. She's doing a great job. She's going to bust some butts. She's going to get some more Idaho beer out there. She's going to work really hard. I can see it. I could tell from the fire in her eyes that she wanted to crush it. So I'm excited to see what she does with IBU. I'm excited for her to come back on the show anytime she wants. She has an open invitation, and just really pleasure to meet her. I was really excited to meet her. So that was awesome as well. So thanks everybody out there for listening. Look out for my Craft Beer is Dead column on Mondays. That's going to be on my Substack and on Reddit. I use the craft beer community in Reddit if you want to check it out there, or on my Facebook at Steve Kuntz, on Twitter at The Daily Beard, and on Instagram at The Daily Beard, as well as where you can find me and where I am at. Thank you so much for listening this week. Next week, we're going to have another fun show. We have a very special guest for next week. She's going to talk to us about this I don't know. You know what? I don't know what we're going to talk about. Something about we're going to explore people that are kind of cutting back and enjoying alcohol in a different way, I think is what we're going to talk about. Anyway, very special guest next week. Should be a lot of fun. Until then, good day and good drinking, everyone.